What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including more AEW stars looking for an out, Buddy Matthews bailing out on AEW, Drew McIntyre has been pulled, a wild rumor on Roman Reigns' next Raw star opponent, a legend not interested in a WWE return, a big reunion for Raw, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out Wrestlelamia.co.uk and a non-wrestling channel, Incredible. We look at more AEW stars looking for an out. Atop of today's news are reports concerning several AEW wrestlers who are stepping away from AEW and are looking for their releases. The first being Buddy Matthews. Is Buddy Matthews finished with AEW? Well, that's a question fans are asking after a video surfaced suggesting Buddy could be the second member of the House of Black to exit AEW. According to a report from WrestleTalk's Andy Datson, Black was at a recent Fight Life Pro Wrestling event where he told the fans, "Unfortunately, tonight I'm going to be the bearer of some unfortunate news. As everyone knows, the House of Black has had some issues lately. As all the members of the House, I'm speaking for them all, we want to thank you all for being members of the House." Matthews informed the fans that he'd be joining Malachi Black in taking a sabbatical. "Unfortunately, I, like some other members, need to go away for a while. I need to recalibrate. I need to figure out some things. As my brother Malachi once said, this isn't goodbye, this is see you later." Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer feels that Buddy Matthews may be wanting to go back to WWE. He was on a show in Rhode Island last night and he said that he needed to step away and recalibrate, and even mentioned Malachi Black. It was very similar wording to what Malachi Black said when he did that independent show a week or two ago. It's the same situation. How it's being handled and what's going to happen is up in the air, but he's gone for now. Obviously, like Malachi Black, they both want to leave and they want to go to WWE. They're both under long-term contracts and we'll see how this plays out. However, Matthews seems to have denied he's looking to return to WWE as he tweeted a gif that reads fake. Buddy's House of Black brother Brody King tweeted a gif, "I'm not leaving," apparently putting to rest any rumors he's looking for a way out of AEW. Well, fans will have to wait and see how things play out for both Black and Matthews. It's obvious that they're going to deny that there's any feelers to WWE, as obviously you wouldn't want to spoil any returns. Next up, the real reason wrestlers want out of AEW. So what is causing all this? What's the real reason why some of AEW's wrestlers want out, and more importantly, why they want to return to WWE? Well, the Wrestling Observer's Ryan Frederick reports that Malachi Black and Buddy Matthews have the same reason for leaving. The only guys that really want to go back are the ones who have significant others with the other company. If you keep up with the wrestlers' love lives, you know that Zelina Vega and Malachi Black are married, while Buddy Matthews and Rhea Ripley are a couple. If this is the reason for wrestlers wanting to return to WWE, does that mean that Andrade will be looking to return to WWE so he can reunite with his wife Charlotte Flair? Well, you may recall that Andrade had a great working relationship with Triple H, which could motivate Andrade to want to come back to WWE, especially since he hasn't been able to find any lasting success in AEW. As we noted in our previous reports on AEW stars looking for a way out, many AEW grapplers are locked into long-term contracts, which theoretically mean they can't go anywhere without AEW president Tony Khan giving them a release. Next up, one AEW wrestler who apparently is content in AEW. I've already seen two wrestlers who may want out of AEW, but what about Miro? Another name that's been mentioned in rumors about wrestlers asking for their releases. Well, according to Frederick, the former TNT champion isn't going anywhere. Miro doesn't want to go back. The only guys that really want to go back are the ones who have significant others with the other company. While Miro fans may feel he may be underutilized, the big man recently took time off, so AEW shouldn't be expected to suddenly drop existing plans to throw him into a program. Next up, what about WWE exits? In light of AEW's potential exits, fans may be wondering whether the WWE plans on cutting any wrestlers in order to make room for the influx of talent Triple H has signed, as well as any potential returns. While that's a valid question, there's been no news concerning wrestlers who might be future endeavored. One interesting aspect of this situation is whether wrestlers have a no-cut clause in their contracts, a stipulation that would prevent WWE from future endeavoring them without cause. Typically, the WWE can release wrestlers at will, but rumor has it at least one or more superstars are contractually protected. Meltzer discussed this, pointing out, even Kevin Owens didn't get a no-cut clause in his contract, and he had leverage. He was promised, I'm sure, but they all are, and we're not going to cut you. But it's not like it's in writing. There are some no cuts, but there are very few in WWE, and only the top guys have that leverage to have them. The idea of a promoter keeping their word is laughable, especially in WWE where wrestlers have been released in masses. Whether or not Triple H changes the way business is done remains to be seen, but we have the impression that wrestlers will only be kept around as long as they have something to offer the WWE and don't have anything to offer to the competition. Next up, Drew McIntyre pulled. Fans know the injury bug can strike at any time, but SmackDown superstar Drew McIntyre recently had a bad experience with a bug of a different kind, that being food poisoning. Meltzer recently updated the fans via Wrestling Observer Radio on the Scottish Warrior's condition after suffering food poisoning. He's in the better sense, I don't want to say all the way better, but he's hopeful that he'll be good enough to go to the gym tomorrow. He was able to eat food today, which I think is the first day he could. Unless there's a relapse or something, he's got a midweek media in San Antonio for the Royal Rumble. The thought is that he'll be there and on TV and on house shows starting Friday. He's a trooper for going to SmackDown on Friday. He was scripted into a big angle. It's a real big deal for Karrion Kross, this thing. It's not make or break, but it's the angle leading up to it and everything like this. McIntyre's feud with Karrion Kross looks like it could be epic, and it'll be interesting to see how Triple H handles Karrion Kross, one of his pet projects. But we're glad to hear that McIntyre is on the road to recovery. Next up, a wild rumor Roman Reigns facing a Raw star next. A time for a wild rumor, as Wrestling News' Andrew Ravens is speculating that Roman Reigns' next opponent after Logan Paul could be a Raw superstar. Ravens noted that the Tribal Chief recently competed at a live event in Vancouver, Canada against AJ Styles, pointing out, typically when WWE as wrestlers work live events with each other, it's an indication of a possible future plan. It should be noted that there have been no reports regarding this potential feud. Even though Reigns works a limited number of pay-per-views, the WWE will likely book him at Survivor Series Day 1, the Royal Rumble, before it sets things up for Wrestlemania, which would require it to serve up some fresh sacrifices to the head of the table. Would you guys like to see AJ vs Roman? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, RVD Not Interested in a WWE Return? Now, Wrestling's Whole Effin' Show recently discussed this on Rene Dupree's Cafe de Rene podcast, saying, "Do I like that Vince is no longer with WWE? No, I personally don't think there's anything in it for me because Vince was a friend, and there's no reason for me to believe at this point that the current guy that's running things has any more interest in me than Vince did. For those reasons, just from my selfish perspective, I think it was better for me when Vince was there." Next up, Toxic Attraction getting a promotion. Now, while Mandy Rose still holds the NXT Women's Championship, what about former NXT Women's Tag Team Champions Gigi Dolan and Jacy Jayne? The two competed in the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship and won their first round match, only to walk away due to injury. They competed on SmackDown but lost their match, leaving some fans puzzled over their booking. The 26 September 2022 Wrestling Observer reports that there has been at least talk of Gigi Dolan and Jacy Jayne moving to the main roster. It's been talked about for a while. The WWE's women's tag division could benefit from Toxic Attraction, but is the company prepared to build them up as a legitimate threat to other teams? Next up, a big reunion set for Raw's season premiere. WWE is planning a big reunion for the 10th October edition of Raw as the promotion celebrates the 25th anniversary of D-Generation X. WWE tweeted this. The Sportster's Jim Parsons mentioned who fans should expect to see at the show, as all members of the group were shown with the exception of Billy Gunn. He is unlikely to be included due to his association with AEW and the Acclaimed. Still, Shawn Michaels, Triple H and Road Dogg all currently work with WWE. Sean Waltman has stayed on good terms with the company and offered himself up for numerous events. It is likely he will be in attendance as well. Now, hopefully Raw's season premiere will help bring back some of the viewers who dropped off once Monday Night Football began. While Raw's ratings haven't gone into the toilet, there's little or no difference between the Vince McMahon era during Monday Night Football and the Triple H during Monday Night Football. So there you have it, guys. The wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.